Alright guys, Sean here, and so we're going to talk about One Piece. I couldn't do the video on One Piece chapter 921, but I was really hyped about this chapter. I mean, who wasn't? The chapter was indeed a 10 out of 10, and instead of approaching the chapter like how everyone did, I'm going to try to use a different angle to approach the chapter. So today we're going to talk about the ingenuity of Vegapunk. Now, we've seen in One Piece that Vegapunk is the go-to guy when it comes to devil fruits. We've seen that he was actually able to create an artificial devil fruit, which he deemed a failure, that actually enabled the user Momonosuke to fully transform into a dragon. But before I actually discuss that, I wanted to give you guys a couple of instances where we've seen something similar. Now, we know that the pacifistas are in some way capable of emitting Kizaru's light beams. We've also seen that there have been instances in the series where we've been introduced to inanimate objects that actually have zones in them. So it isn't far-fetched to believe that Vegapunk is in some way capable of, transferring devils from devil fruits into inanimate objects. Now, in the case of the pacifistas, I believe it is something similar to that of Momonosuke, but because we know that Logias like Kizaru's light devil fruits are not the same as zones, which are mostly animals, it is possible that though he must have created an artificial devil fruit and given it to the pacifistas to eat, the expression of the devil fruit has been probably different. Now, in the case of Bartholomew Kuma, it is quite complicated because he already has a proper devil fruit. So if in some way Vegapunk is able to copy the devil from the devil fruit and insert it into someone like Bartholomew Kuma, he must have exploded, which brings us to the factor which is lineage factors. Now, if Vegapunk is in some way able to alter the lineage factor in such a way that though it is a copy of the spirit, it does not emit the same wavelength as the spirit which inhabits the devil fruit, that will explain why Bartholomew Kuma is also able to emit light beams. Now, when it comes to zones, less complicated because it is an animalistic spirit that inhabits the devil fruit, so it isn't quite complicated to remove the spirit from the fruit and insert it into an inanimate object. Now, I'm in no way discrediting Vegapunk because just doing that in itself is a very complicated process, but we've seen instances where inanimate objects have been actually inhabited by zones. Now, back to Kaido and Momonosuke, you saw that the the eyebrow patterns were quite similar, if not close, and we've also seen that the dragon models are quite similar. The designs are quite similar, though Kaido's is quite different out there to say the original, but Momonosuke's isn't that far-fetched. So at this point I was kind of wondering what Vegapunk was up to, especially in the case of the pacifistas and how he did it, because initially in my mind I thought that he must have done the same process, the same thing he actually did in Punk Hazard, but to a larger scale, I would say, in one of his labs, and that's how he was actually able to insert the pacifistas with Kizaru's light beams. Now, we know of lineage factors introduced by the Vinsmoke's birds. I don't think that would tie extremely well into why the pacifistas are able to emit light beams, because so far so good. We know that Reiju is the one who actually has a devil fruit ability, and the others express different properties, but I don't think those properties tie pretty much to devil fruits, in as much as we know that they've actually been experimented on. Now, I'm not trying to discredit George Vinsmoke as well, but I don't think that Niji, Ichiji, and especially Yonji have abilities that tie extremely close to those of devil fruits we've seen in the series so far. So I don't think he actually proceeded with lineage factor, but was able to in some way use wavelengths, and because of that he's able to use lineage factors to copy but alter, and that is how he's able to create alternate versions of the devils within devil fruits and then insert them into inanimate objects, or out there to say someone like Bartholomew Kuma, who already has the purple devil fruit and did not explode. So that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. Vegapunk is indeed a very smart guy, and there is proof when it comes to Kaido. Now, before I end the video, I just wanted to talk about Kaido a little. Now, we know that he actually has a dragon zone, and that this dragon zone is similar to that of Momonosuke, as I've been repeating throughout the video, but there is something I found quite funny with Kaido, and that is the fact that previously when Kaido was introduced, when he was crying, he was actually building some sort of club. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of his arms could actually transform into that of an Oni and suit his alternate dragon form when it comes to fight. We've seen from someone like Rob Lucci that he actually had different forms when it came to his zone, so I wouldn't be surprised if this dragon is probably Kaido's base form. So that was just a teaser for you guys to think about. So let me know your thoughts about Vegapunk. Let me me know your thoughts about One Piece chapter 9 to 1. Let me know your thoughts about this idea that Vegapunk is actually able to copy and alter the spirits from devil fruits, and that's how he's able to, insert them to inanimate objects. Let me know your thoughts about this. Maybe this has been discussed by someone else, so I don't take credit for actually talking about this idea, but let me know your thoughts on this as well, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.